started off when I graduated from high school. I was 18 years old, and I needed a job. So I said, well, maybe I could get a job in Alliance. And this guy had a newspaper distributor. I think Jacobs was his name. He was right on the corner of Liberty and Main. He had TV guides and all this kind of stuff, and he needed somebody to deliver the Alliance Review for him. I said, well, I could do that. So I went up and applied for the job and said, yeah, I could use you. 75 cents an hour.
Wow.
That's what I started in at. And he had a van. He had an international van. I'd go up to the Alliance Review on about 3:30 in the afternoon. I think they had some kind of a chute or something coming out of the bottom, or they brought them up in bundles. And I'd pick up all these papers for him. And I'd start down, and this was in Sebring. This is right next to the bank. There's an alley there. And this is right next to the bank coming this way. And this is where I'd drop the newspapers off. And the kids would pick them up, and they would take them, around to Sebring. Well, then I left there and went to Beloit, down here. And they had a little post office down here, right where that used car lot is, where all them cars are. There was a little post office there. That's where it was. I delivered a bundle of papers there.
Okay.
Well, then when I left there, I went to Damascus, and there were some kids down there. I dropped them off to these kids coming down 62. I ended up at Westville and getting newspapers. Dropped them off. Then that was the route. Then I went back to his shop and went home. The thing was, he had an international van, and it would do 35 mile an hour. That was it. That was top speed. Had a governor on it. Well, then he took it and had work done on it because it wasn't running right. Well, they took the governor off, and more after that, I could really fly. I could really fly. But that thing would only do 35 mile an hour wide open. International green van he had. But he was quite a man to work with. I mean, he was. But that was there. This picture here is in the wintertime, and that's the way they had them. I think they had wire around them back then. But I'd pick them up right in front of the Review. They'd have them up there, and I'd load them in a truck and take off, make them stops.